Welcome to Coding After Work.
It's back.
Yeah.
We are back.
We are, and we're early.
Yeah.
Because it's a bank holiday in Sweden.
Mm-hmm. And since I work at a bank, I have a holiday. Is that
I don't think that's the...
Okay.
I think in Sweden we call them red days because we're off. And most people don't know why.
I did not know it, and I didn't know that my I have a colleague. He was like, "Are we off on Friday?" And I'm like, "No. Why? Why do you ask?" No reason. I didn't think we were. No. Wait. Stop. Back it up. Why do you think we would even remotely be off on Friday? And he was like, "Well, we're off on Thursday." Stop. Continue telling me about this off day. What is up? What's up with that? Well, it's off. So before we have holiday days, we also have half day before a holiday day.
Well, banks and insurance company and some other companies have.
It's still a half. It's officially a half day before a holiday, but not every company enforces that or has that as an option.
No, but I think it's actually when it's afton or evening, and there's no evening before this particular holiday. So your theory is off.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure it's not, but okay. Never mind. So he was, and it's half day the day before, which was yesterday. And I'm like, what? Wait, stop. Tell me about this half day. And apparently he was right. But,
well, you finished at 5. That's not half day. That's a full day.
That's half day for me.
Yeah, but it's not a half day.
Okay, that's not why we're here.
No, it's not.
Okay, let's switch over to my screen. Here we go. We have sponsors.
You are in my space again.
I usually have way too much arms waving around, so
I can.
That's gonna be a thing.
We can play Portal. Remember that game? That was an awesome game. Something else that is awesome is our sponsors.
Yeah. They have amazing Blazor UI controls, which you should definitely check out. So if you're working with Blazor, truly native, and over 100 at this point. And well, if you're working with Blazor or basically any other web technology or technology in general, they probably have a component for you.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're doing. We are doing a call for paper site.
We are.
So this is what it looks like. Apparently 266 added the last 30 days.
Yeah, and the point with this is that if you're a speaker or an attendee or an organizer, you should have a different viewpoint of this page.
Hey, we got some friends in the chat. Hey,
friends! Look at that. Yay. We're all friends here, right? We're so glad you're here. And you're here early, like we are. Mm-hmm. Again, it's because it's a bank holiday.
Yeah. I did do some changes in the backend a couple of days ago. Mm-hmm. Let me see if I remember what I did. One of the things I did was that I asked the backend to do another sweep, add or update all of the conferences we had in the database, because the Sessionize API has the ability to tell us if what kind of things that are covered. So is the travel covered? Is the event covered? Is the accommodation covered? So those 3 things. And funny enough, not all events cover the entrance fee.
But now, do you think that they just don't tick that box because it goes without saying?
I don't know.
Otherwise, they are such
basically
bad word here.
you can come in, you can do your session, then you have to leave.
Ah,
I don't know.
No, I
assume
choose
that's,
to.
yeah,
I choose to
I'm
think.
gonna assume that's not the case, but yeah.
I know, right? It is bad enough in this world where developers and, well, tech industry in general, when they do a session, they don't get paid for their performance, unless it's for another company or the keynote and stuff like that. Otherwise, you're doing this work, and it's a lot of work for free.
And
But when they are not even paying for the attendance.
There are also conferences that are a little bit odd how they categorize speakers. I'm not going to mention any names here, but for example, as a speaker, you might get, or actually as an attendee, you might get a QR code or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And you can go to different booths and you can scan that QR code and get into some competitions and stuff like that.
Yeah. Or even drink tickets and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Raffles, what have you.
But as a speaker, in some cases, you won't get that QR code because they're only interested in the attendees, I guess.
Yeah. Which is interesting because most speakers are actually influencers and they are trying out your stuff before the masses.
So sometimes they're like Lego raffles and stuff like that, and I'm like, scan me, and they're like, I'm sorry, there's no scanning
you're a
code
speaker,
there.
you're not valid. Yeah, it's interesting. We have this is a very interesting question, and it's been an ongoing discussion in the community. Does your job cover time off when you go and speak, or are you taking out vacation days?
Yes.
Yes, I would say that it's very common that you actually take your vacation days, or you have some sort of deal with your employer that you can, maybe you worked half a day extra, or maybe you had a release on a Saturday and you can take those days off. And that is very, very common. It's very unusual that you are actually getting paid.
Now, in my case, I work at a bank, as some of you may know, and they don't really have any benefits of me speaking at a conference because they're people.
They see no benefit. That's different.
I would argue that there's no benefit for them.
Because if you're a high-profile IT person, that will benefit them, because then other people, customers, potential employees, what have you, they will know that this is a company where a person who is on top of things, early adopter, knows a lot of stuff, they are interested to working here, therefore it must be a good workplace. So I think it's you're underestimating how the benefits actually look. Sure, you're not going out there and saying, oh, this is what we did at this bank. But I think there's different levels to that.
Agreed. But I would argue that the clientele that we have is not...
not the clientele, yes, I agree with that. That's completely... You will never cross paths, probably.
No.
But potential employees, potential investors, what have you, they might.
So basically, I get...
Jimmy, being at a conference and being a rock star will benefit them. Exactly. Listen to Tyndall.
But basically, I get 10 days off for conferences. That's what we agreed upon. So I'm basically saying I want at least be able to have 10 days off. That's just because I don't want to go to my boss every single time and say, could I please have a day off for a conference?
But that's included in your benefits.
Yes.
So that could just as easily be converted to money. You could have gotten a raise instead of getting the 10 days. So, I mean... It depends on how you look at it. Yeah. I hope your CV says Microsoft MVP. It does, actually. I have it on there. Apparently, it's a thing. I just had an interview and they commented on that. Apparently, they liked it. But before we start, can we pop in a Blazor question that maybe you covered in the book, but in case I've forgotten about it?
Sure.
What book are we talking about? Boop. Boop.
The Boop book.
Boop the Raccoon book. Yeah, so go ahead. What's the question?
I should totally write a new book.
Have I seen the question? Because then...
I don't think I've seen...
Yeah, okay. Because I can only see the questions that come into the
If you have typed it, Tyndall, please type it again. So I should totally make another book, which is like Blazor object-oriented programming.
Oh, so you can literally say boop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a boop.
You should do a children's book with different animals to boop.
I like it.
Oh, I said that on stream.
Oh, and the nose is electronic, so you're gonna get...
Or furry. So what would you say is the best way of looping over an async enumerable in a component?
The best way of looping...
Yeah, so it's a two-parter. Is there a trick, or is it to blocking enumerable cancellation token?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
So figure it out.
I'm definitely not covering that in the book either. I think it's kind of a borderline case, I guess. But let's explore that after the stream, I guess.
Yeah.
Try to figure that one out.
Yeah. Then we can go to Tyndall's stream and talk to him there. Mm-hmm. Because we usually miss that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel so bad for that every single time.
All right, so let's talk about things to do.
Yeah, soon.
The site is
awful. Trying a wait for each tells me that the code isn't marked as a sync, so the view itself isn't. Only the functions you call afterwards, like on initialized a sync.
So are you talking about doing that inside of the Razor code or inside of the code behind?
We got a yep.
I think that was too fast because we got a little bit of a delay.
Oh, right.
Unless he predicted what my question was.
He might be. Oh, look at this. We got stuff here.
So a wait inside of a wait inside of the Razor code doesn't work. So I would probably do that inside of initialize or on parameter, get all of that stuff and then show it in the UI.
There you go. This page you're on is horrendous.
Yes. Agreed. I guess we could go
Bananas
some kind
on that
of
one.
light theme, but not going to do that.
What's the best practice in Blazor? Should components have access to injectable dependencies, or should the host page push data to a component, making components as dumb as possible?
I would definitely say that. So that's a great question, because I've been thinking about how I would organize a site, and we talked about this on stream before, I believe. But basically, should pages be on a separate folder structure? Should components be a separate folder structure, and so on? I would say that a component, it depends, right? But I would say that a component should be as usable as possible as the component itself. So basically, I would definitely inject stuff into the component so I can put that component anywhere without having to have any dependencies outside of the component.
Yeah.
Now,
that is what Tyndall weighed in on as well.
Yeah.
Inject what you need.
And the tricky thing with Blazor is that it's all components. Pages are just a component with a page directive. So there's no real difference. I can take that page and use that as a component if I want to. So it's
component all the things.
exactly. So it's a little bit tricky to use that in different ways like that. Hey, Simon.
Simon, you're here.
Thank you for the subscription.
Yes, thank you.
So I would definitely say inject all the things, make that component work by itself. But there's always going to be exceptions.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're loading something and all the subcomponents are using the same data and stuff like that. In that case, definitely have a parameter and you can set that parameter.
I completely agree. I just had a heated debate with a colleague. I can certainly understand both approaches. Yeah, and I mean, usually it comes down to what you're used to as well. If you are more efficient doing whatever you have been doing before, do it. There's no reason to change unless it's stupid, but it's usually not.
Hey, Tyndall, thank you for the subscription as well.
Thank you.
But that's basically what I'm trying to say here is that I love to have the component, the thought of components. Just grab the component, put it in there, and it's just gonna work.
Yeah.
That is a whole lot better. And I'm trying also to make sure that the components, if there's something outside of the component that the component needs. So let's say that we have a component that is showing accounts. So basically the page is showing the customer, for example, and the component is showing accounts. Now, instead of like the component, the account component is trying to figure out what customer I'm using by looking at the URL or something like that, I have a parameter with the customer ID. I'm not sending in the accounts, I'm sending in the customer ID. Because by doing that, it's going to be a whole lot easier to test as well. So I can just take the component, send in the customer ID, get the response back, and test it, basically.
Nice.
So that's my 5 cents. Is it 5 cents? Is that usually what?
I don't know.
I don't know. 1 cent. What is smaller than a cent? I don't know. Okay. 2 cents apparently.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, I guess that changed throughout the times as well, because we used to say 25 cents here in Sweden, or öre, but we don't have that anymore, and people who are born way later than us have never seen that. So, yeah.
Okay, so last time we did a little bit of reorganizing with all the stuff that we're supposed to do. But then we talked this morning and we said, you know what? Let's dig into dark theme. Let's do that.
Yes.
So I'm just
because that's very important to you.
It's
also
very
very important for accessibility as well.
Yes.
So I'm on board.
And I created a Visual Studio extension, which I showed last time, and yesterday Mads Christensen added a tweet, or answered my tweet and said it would be great if you had some screenshots of the component in the marketplace page. So I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. But there's a thing with the marketplace page. You need to upload a new version to be able to edit it, which is, I don't know.
So you had to add function.
Well, I don't have to, but I'm not going to add like, I haven't added anything, but I'm just doing this to update the description. But what I ended up doing was I added a new feature, which has a little window, and with the window, I need to figure out whether or not it works with dark theme and with light theme and all the other themes. So right now, I still have like white spots in front of me because I've been looking at the light Visual Studio for the whole afternoon.
Yeah. We all know you prefer dark
It's
theme.
horrific.
No, it's not. 2 red shirts? That can't be good. Nerd. And I mean, I don't get that reference at all. Also, some red shirts actually survive.
Well, if Scotty and 2 no names beam down to a planet, Scotty's probably going to survive.
Yeah.
That's
the one.
Okay, so let's take a look at our page and pop in.
The red shirts are on strike. They want life insurance. Yeah, good luck with that. It's going to be so expensive.
So I looked a little bit at the page earlier today just to see what kind of colors we have and stuff like that.
Yeah, I did the same.
And we did it completely different way.
Yeah.
So what I'm seeing here is that we have one color, right?
Yeah, and what I saw, I went to, since me and Bootstrap CSS is not friends, we are mortal enemies. And
mortal enemies.
Cannot be seen in the same room. And I apologize for anyone who take offense. I like you even if you like Bootstrap, but I cannot handle that. So I put it in, I was a little bit lazy. Instead of reading through all the 16 million pages of CSS that they provide us with all those colors Jimmy is scrolling by right now, I went to a page that basically you put in a URL and it grabs out your color scheme. And I'm still scrolling. So yeah, don't like that.
You know what we should get? You know Mortal Kombat, of course.
Yeah.
You know, the fatality. Mm-hmm. I would like to have that voice, rant mode.
Tyndall would approve, I think.
Yeah, so basically it has a lot of colors in the...
Tyndall says, the code is very cut off. We see the bottom of your screen. We see the taskbar and like the lowest 2/3 of the code, I think. Okay.
Better now?
You never know. I have enough points to make Fritz record it. No, I think your capture area in OBS is a bit messed up. Oh, yeah, we had some issues with the...
Is it?
We did have some issues with the camera before,
yeah, but
the preview we see is like the CSS. It cuts off under 266.
Are you sure that? So sometimes when they go into Twitch, now I'm telling a veteran that used Twitch way more than I have.
Yeah.
But I think it's...
Browser looks... yeah, we should ignore Tyndall. Let's not speak about this. He just asked us to ignore him, so let's leave it.
Okay, got it.
Oh, all of a sudden it works. Let's feel better.
So what I did was that I asked our friend ChatGPT.
Sometimes the Padawan needs to teach the master.
So basically,
of course you did.
So basically, what I said, I want to switch to dark theme on my web page. It currently is using Bootstrap and it's using these colors. And basically, what I did was I checked what color is the background, what color is the foreground, and
so it's the yellow. What gray is that? The body background. That's not the same as we have.
Well,
on the upper.
Apparently not, because you told me we were using other colors.
Yeah, we are.
So let's take a look here just quickly.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
The body has the... so the body color is the color of the text.
Okay.
Text color.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Why not have 500 colors in one page? That's not messed up at all.
But we can fix that.
Yes, please. Can we?
So basically, I'm telling it, you know what? I'm using these colors. Apparently, I'm using even more, but let's start with those. And it generated some code for me and said, you know what? I can change these colors. And we're also using a white background for cards, which looks horrific. So I asked it to fix that as well.
I gave ChatGPT a whole class that I was very unhappy with today, and it gave me back a terrible Frankenstein class. We are no longer on speaking terms. I feel you, Simon. I feel you.
I actually...
Yeah, I know you're friends, but you also like Bootstrap,
like
so...
that.
Yeah. You, ChatGPT, and Bootstrap can live in your little corner of the interwebs.
So basically what I did was I took the things that they said. We talked about that yesterday or last time. Yeah. And apparently we had some code here already.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring that in here.
With completely different colors.
I don't know where. I think we copied it from.
We did actually do a color palette for this page, but I think that someone in his friendly neighborhood ChatGPT is not following that. That's what I think.
So this is the new colors.
Yeah.
Let's pop into...
Oh my gosh, I just saw 2 additional colors. You know what? My next UX class, I will use this one as an example on how not to do it when it comes to color.
Where is the settings for I prefer dark theme?
Oh no, you don't have to go all the way in here. Go back to your F12 and in where is it? It's somewhere. Rendering. It should. You don't have rendering there? Look at the top one where it says elements. If there's a rendering there.
There it is.
Yes. And then enable automatic dark mode.
Enable automatic dark mode.
There you go.
Enable
now
automatic dark mode.
And sets prefer dark. So this is what you need to do. That's the only thing. And it will. You can toggle that a little bit easier.
All right.
This looks horrendous. Oh my gosh, please.
So for some reason it took the same color we have up here in the menu and set that as background. But now we have we
have a start.
The styles that we know that we need to change to get everything right.
So Lavasoft asked, it sounds like you almost had it with ChatGPT. Is that bad? Is it that bad? No, it's not that bad. It's just that someone is a little bit more forgiving than others, and you need to know when the answer is correct or not. Like Simon said earlier, he got a Franken. What are you doing?
When I'm closing the F12 tools, it goes back.
Yeah, of course.
I don't like it.
Okay. Yeah, like Simon said earlier, I mean, if he wasn't a good developer, he wouldn't have noticed that it was a crappy class they got back. So you need to know what to look for. You need to know when it's good and bad. It can help you be more productive, for sure. And you need to learn how to ask the questions correctly. But there are also other AIs out there that are more suitable for code and more suitable for other things. So this is a very basic, or I mean, it's very wide, so it's not specialized in one single thing. So we need to keep that in mind. But I still use it.
If you have tried Copilot, that is available in Visual Studio, there's a private preview right now that you can sign up for, where you can get even more help inside of Visual Studio and ask basically with the prompt inside of Visual Studio, which is really, really good. I think Scott Hanselman did a demo of that as well.
Yeah, and that will, of course, be a little bit more aimed towards code.
Yes.
Instead of being like trying to be good on anything, everything. Okay, yeah, so this page sucks.
I think it's better.
No.
It's darker.
No,
it's better.
No.
I like it. We are friends, the page and I.
Do you know if there's any non-NDA covered info if GitHub Copilot will be upgraded to Copilot X?
I don't know if there are any NDA content covering that either. So, I don't know. That's the short
Build
answer.
is coming up.
I don't even know if it's going to be
No, but
released,
if it
build.
is going to be mentioned anytime soon, it will probably be on build. I'm not saying I know anything. I do not. But, I mean... Well... You guys were just at the summit, of course you know. Well, honestly, there was an unusually high amount of NDA stuff than usually, but it wasn't that much because everything is open source. Everything is out in the open already, so it's not too bad.
The really sad part is that...
And also thank you for saying non-NDA so we wouldn't slip up and get burned on the stake.
I do have access to the preview because I signed up early, I guess.
Yeah.
But the problem is that I've read the instructions. This is a private preview. I'm not allowed to show it to anyone, basically, which I think it's... I don't know why. It's really strange because...
Well, if it is a closed beta,
yeah, but,
or a preview,
but still there are lots of videos out there talking about it.
Yeah,
and
but
stuff
it might
like that,
still be that they're pushing out things that they're just trying. They don't know if that will make the final cut, and if it makes the final cut, if it doesn't make the final cut, people will get angry.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah, but this is yeah.
You got
sure.
the preview. Shut up. That's still a little bit weird. Well, not that weird. 9 out of 10. I'll slip up and stream it. Oh, we need the NoDocs version for my extensions. There you go. There you go. That's your next project. Our project is to fix this horrendous piece of page.
Piece of page.
Yeah, I didn't want to go all the way. So now it's a piece of page.
Okay, it's not a piece of page, it's a piece of page.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
The connotation here is different.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, got it. Okay, so let's start with this one.
Yes.
Perhaps. So the actually, let's start with this one. Because I don't like that the background here is the same as background here.
Agreed.
It should be something a little bit different.
I actually have a suggestion.
I thought you might.
For a color there. Because me and my friendly neighborhood
would be this color, I guess.
That would be 1E, 1F, 1.8. 1E.
1E.
Oh. And a 1. And an F.
F.
No, and there's a 1 before. Oh my god. 1E, 1F, 1.8. It is a very dark gray
and
with a yellow.
8.
Oh, come on. You see the numbers on my screen.
This was much more funny.
See what I get to live with.
Okay, that didn't.
No, it's probably because you're doing.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Look at that. Well, I like it.
This has a little bit more of a yellow tint,
No,
so it's
it
basically
has more darkness.
Yes, and it's also a little bit tinted yellow because so it's not a neutral gray.
Okay.
Because I thought that would go better with the yellow accent colors we are using.
All right. I like it. Okay, so let's talk about the cards then.
Yeah.
Should they be? They could be invisible. They are invisible in the light color. They're white, the same color as the background. So they could have the same color, right?
They're bashing the colors here now. Yeah, I know. I think the only really bad part is the background meshing too much and that blue on gray. But I'm not a UI designer, so what do I know? Well, it sucks. That's what it does. It's a bit tinted yellow. Oh, come on, it is. I see no yellow. Yeah, there you go.
The color just went, nobody calls me yellow.
Nerd. I mean, I got that. I didn't get that reference either. Not at all.
I assume this is no secret, but we have a project at work where
it doesn't start good when you say, "I assume this is not a secret."
Well, that part is definitely.
People are sitting with their clip finger.
So we have a project at work where we have some students that are helping us implement a ChatGPT project.
Yeah.
And that is open on the internet and stuff like that. So that's definitely no secret. So basically what you can do is that you can take a report, add that to ChatGPT, or in this case, our instance in Azure, OpenAI, and all of that goodness, and ask questions to the report or about the report. So basically ask it, so does it have... what kind of things is Ericsson doing for sustainability or whatever it may be.
Summarize this and
yeah, and you can do it from different financial advisor. You can do it from
in different roles.
In different roles. I don't remember the other one.
Roles.
Yeah, so it's going to make sure that it's going to use the correct words. Now our founder came in. Or we met him in the corridor. He usually goes around saying hello to all the people. He's an awesome guy. And we told him we just had a demo. We had a full room. Everyone in the company was basically watching this. And he went, we asked him, do you want to see it? And he was like, yes, I would love to see it. So we did a private demo. We showed him all the things, just a shorter demo. And he was like, I think you might have ruined my night's sleep. Because this was such an amazing technology that basically blew his mind.
Yeah. I think people can use it as a tool. It will not replace us as of now, but you can definitely use it.
Yeah. Now it came to mind because he actually did do a Back to the Future reference while he was in there, so that's why I remembered to talk about it.
But now let's fix the horrendous.
Okay, so let's
colors.
start with this one.
Yes.
Do we want a specific background for that one?
Yes.
Even though we don't have any background on the white page. Or actually, we can change that as well.
What do you mean? You mean on the white page we have the same background color on the background as we do the
cards.
The cards.
Yes, so it's not visible.
I don't know. Remove it. Try.
Let's see here. We got the background color.
Yep, it knew. It knew it's the same color.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that.
Oh no, that's good. You just got some points. Because you are using CSS variables.
But I don't remember if that's the correct syntax or not. I need to... Is it? Yeah, it was. Okay, so like that. Save. Semicolon. Reload.
Reload. Yeah, we can't see anything as of now. We need to fix the rest before we actually...
So what do you want to do?
We need to change the headers. Are they blue regularly when we are in the white theme?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Why? We don't even have a blue...
It's a link.
Oh.
Links are blue.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know why.
I know why. I do know why.
But they don't have to be. So what colors do you want? Do you want them to be just white?
Yeah, sure.
So let's see here. Let's go with...
Yeah, that blue looks like an error now. Why are links blue? You just want me to go on a tangent, don't you? Well, actually, back in the day, Microsoft, remember when we had MSN search? That's how far back this go. They and Amazon were teaming up and doing a lot of UX research on colors, and specifically colors on search results. And they tried like a gazillion different colors, and they came to the conclusion that blue is the color that engages most people and therefore also get more revenue and more clicks. And then they took it a little bit further, and they tried out different shades of blue, different blues, and they found one that when they did some calculation, that would give them around $80 to $90 million more in revenue.
And they
to change from one blue to another.
And I think the most important thing in that
have
sentence
changed it again.
Is more.
Yes, more. Yeah, definitely.
So that's insane.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing actually how much of a difference the nuance can have. And apparently it was worth all that money because doing user research is very expensive, especially if it's extensive. And apparently it was worthwhile because they have now, a decade later, actually changed that blue again. Probably because we have different screens now and stuff like that, resolution and yeah.
Okay, so we have white links.
Yes. Nice. What color is the white?
What
is
color
it white,
is
white,
the white?
or is it near white?
The color is...
because I would like it to be
color.
near white. Yeah, that looks better.
So what color do you want? That color?
No, that's fine. I didn't know that we had a color, so I'll just edit our palette.
This is a ChatGPT color.
Oh,
so
okay.
we
doesn't
can
matter.
go with
What was the color?
F8, F9, FA.
It has a little blue tint. I would prefer if it has a little yellow tint. So I would suggest that we do... Where did you go? Maybe F5, F5?
What?
FS? No, that's a 5. See, my
F5,
classes is... No,
F5,
that means it's...
F5.
That means it's completely neutral. It shouldn't be neutral. My color disappeared. Don't do that. Yeah, I need to go get my glasses fixed.
It's not updating the...
No. Because it sucks, that's why.
Can we just quickly go to your screen and just show what you're doing?
Sure.
Would be this one, I think.
Yes. So, ooh, that looks completely different on that screen. So what color did we have to begin with? We had F...
I changed...
Okay, then it doesn't matter.
F8, F9, FA.
FA. So if you look here, it's in the blue. No, you can't, because we need to hide us. Where's the hide us button? We don't have a hide us button?
Maybe not.
Okay. So no, wait, I can fix that. There we go. Fixed it.
No, we don't have a cat button. What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's broken. So this one is in the blue spectrum, and we want it in the yellow. Just like some of these. This color is the one we're using because it's also here in the yellow. Mm-hmm. And this is the one we had before, and you can see it's in the blue, and we don't want that. So let's go yellow. And let's see. No, that is horrendous. Why are you not working the way I wanted you to work? Is that too non-white, or do you think that's fine?
Let's
try it.
Yep.
So it's F0, F2.
It's F0,
F2,
F2,
D,
F.
F.
Let's see what we got here.
It looks so different on the different screens. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Let's switch back to my... There we... Hey,
oh,
there's the cat.
There's the cat. Has it been there all the time? Cat is learning. Oh, you have a cat. Oh my gosh. Hey, kitty. I'm so jealous.
The text color is only on the link. So let's take a look here. What's going on with the cards here? So these ones are
it up a little,
some
so let's go
other
to
color.
There we go.
So that one is... Oh, it's using the color from the cards.
And what color is that?
I thought it was the same color.
Yeah, this is the problem when we're not using
Okay, we
variables.
haven't overridden that one, so let's do that.
But I do actually have a lighter color that might be a little bit better.
Let's first see that this, it's... There we go. Now we have a little bit of another color for all of those items.
Yeah.
Okay, and you had another color that is this one.
F8, FA,
FA,
E6.
E6. There we go.
So So we can get the full contrast, but still have it a little bit off white. Did that even do anything?
I didn't see a lot of difference, but I
Me neither.
think it might be a little bit
Yeah,
different.
I went from 94% to 98%. So that could.
Color.
That's my actual cat, the vibing cat. Oh, this is your actual cat. So this is his actual cat.
Oh. Reminds me of the one we used to have.
Tussan.
Mm-hmm.
What's your cat's name? We're not going off topic. Cats are very important when it comes to coding. Cats and chocolate. That's how we survive.
Zelda, of course.
Of course. Nice. Okay, where were we? We were changing the colors.
Yep, so we have a little bit of a new color.
Yep. Are we sure it actually changed?
I think it did, yes.
Okay, that's fine. And I want to check the, what do you call it? Accessibility for that. And
should we pop
yeah,
over?
sure, do that. I mean, it's this one is our new one, and you can go down here, edit for accessibility. This is just a tool I'm used to. That's why I'm using this. There's plenty of free tools. This is free, but you need to sign up. But there's plenty of tools out there. And I want to check the contrast, and it's stupid enough not to bring over the colors. So those you need to fix yourself. Yes. This is definitely acceptable. Everything, I would say anything between 14 and 15 and a half, thereabout, is a perfect ratio, because you will get so much bang for the buck, but you won't get those dancing letters when you look away from the screen. So this is definitely a little softer to read. You won't get that eye strain, and you can read a little bit more. And it has that yellow tint, like the background and the yellow color. And you should always, when you can, check it for the enhanced AAA web content accessibility guidelines, the recommendations, and we are doing that with flying colors. Okay, what's next?
Cool. You mentioned dancing letters, and apparently everyone doesn't know what that means.
That means when you are looking at... It's not what you think, I don't know. It depends on what you think. When you are, for instance, looking at white text, like pure white text on a pure black background, and you look at the text and then you move your eyes outside of the screen and it will still be there. And you can do that with different colors as well. When you are looking at a pink and you concentrate very, very hard on that, and then you look at a white background and you will see pink. You will see green if you're looking at pink.
Basically, Visual Studio Lite.
Yes, but usually it's worse. It has the same ratio, but it's usually worse when you're reading white on black, actually, even if it has the same exact ratio when it comes to my brain is off. Contrast, the contrast ratio. So yeah, don't do that.
Okay, so we have a little bit of a new color. Now, should we have the cards in a different color? Do you want that? Is that adding?
Should we have
if we
different...
just do something very, very small here, let's say that the color, let's say the background color should be.
Oh, you mean, yeah, but then we should change it in that case on the white page as well.
Yes. So did I just grab a color which was the same, or did I?
Is that how the black and white images look like colored after staring at a point? Yes, that's the same theory. Definitely. And it will follow you around and it will invert and you can have so much fun. Oh my gosh, what did you do?
So this is my contribution. I just wanted to make sure that the CSS actually...
We see it.
Do you see it?
I see it.
Are you sure?
I think the people on the moon actually sees it.
On the moon?
Yeah.
Why is this loading twice?
That Adobe Color tool is cool. Glad to know about it. Thanks. Yes, it is. I like it. But there are a bunch of others where you can get help for and guides when you are doing colors as well. But I'm paying for Adobe, so it feels better if I actually get something out of it. But it is a free version. There's also colorlovers.com that does a similar thing. The page is a little bit busier though. And there's Coolers, which I like. Coolers.co, I believe. Is it? No. Coolers with 2 O's. There we go.
Should we switch?
Yeah, sure. Where they actually have a generator as well, where you can do all the things. And they have different contrast checkers. There's also, if you just want to do accessibility, there's this one. There's contrastchecker.com, which is very, very handy. And of course, anything on web content accessibility page as well. Like it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So if
I figure out.
Yes. If we go back to my screen here, if we load the page here, thank you for the following. If I reload the page, you'll see that it loads and then it loads again.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. What did you do? Did you break it?
So basically what is happening is that it's first loading all the data on the server, and then when it comes over to the when it pushes the data over to the client, it's pushing that data again and it loads again. Mm-hmm. So there are a couple of different ways to solve it. You can make sure that when you're sending the data, you send the data as well to the client, and basically say use that data to reload the page. Mm-hmm. But that's too much work.
So you're saying you're lazy?
Usually what I do is that I don't use pre-rendered, because pre-rendered is the part that is going to first load on the server, then push the data over.
But then you will have the white page while you're waiting.
Yes, but I did have a white page here as well, just for a short moment. So it's kind of like some people say that pre-rendered is the best way to get content on the screen the fastest.
Yeah.
Okay? But I would argue it's not. Because what is actually happening is that it's going to get all the data from the server, get all of that done, push that over to the client. And then it's going to do all of that again and push that over to the client. So that's why we have that blip.
Why is it doing it twice?
Because it's first rendering when I'm getting the page, it's first doing that on the server, just because that's how it works, and then it connects with SignalR. We're using the Blazor Server, so then it connects with SignalR, and then it wants to push that again to make sure that, okay, we got all the data that we have, we're updated, the SignalR connection is on, great. So basically what we need to do is remove the pre-rendered part here. That way, if I, let's see if it works here. Yes. So basically, if I load the page now, I don't have to wait for the server to get all the data done. No. You see that the menu is still there.
Yeah.
Menu, data.
Yeah.
So I would argue that the perceived speed of this is way faster.
And that is what actually matters. How fast, I mean, programmatically it loads, it has no effect on the user whatsoever. A user doesn't perceive it faster or slower if it's presented at a certain stage. It's all about cheating the system and get that perceived speed. And if you have an occupied wait time, like for instance, I can read the menu while I'm waiting for the headers to load, and then I can read the headers while I'm waiting for the icons to load, which happened here. That is occupied wait time, which kind of nullifies the wait time, and it makes it so much shorter. So it's all about the appearance and perceived speed.
Yes.
So I agree with that. Oh, I don't know what happened with Tyndall. He got caught in automod, and I pressed something, and now he gets a message every time. I don't know. Oh, we also have a question. If it will work with me. You can have a loading screen while rendering now, right? How does that work? The loading screen, dot that comes up?
So with Blazor WebAssembly, it now comes with .NET 7. It comes with a progress bar, so that is definitely possible. And the same thing here. We could, like, if the data is not sent over yet, we can show something, and when we have the data, we can change that. So that is definitely possible. Yes. I don't think we need it though, because the page loads so fast, and I don't know if a progress bar would add content here or not, or actually add value. What do you think?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I was trying to figure out what I did with Tyndall. I'm so sorry.
If I reload the page here, the page is empty. Would a progress bar add to the experience here?
I would say if it's a process that takes more than 1 second, yes. If it takes less than 1 second, it doesn't matter.
Less than 1.
Yeah. That's not how you look at the time. You can actually do that in the network, right? So let's look at the network. You have the tools up.
Actually, I don't know if we can see it in the network, since it's going over SignalR. Let's see.
Because I would say that if a process takes more than a second, we definitely need something.
It's going berserk here. It's loading all the stuff here.
Loading all the stuff.
Let's see. And the images is, I don't know.
But you still have some sort of timeline. Okay. Yeah, well, my recommendation is if it takes more than a second, definitely you need to have some sort of progress indicator, but you could have like the wheelie thing or just a loading text, like the one you get in Blazor, the loading ... If it takes more than 2 seconds, or between 2 and 5 seconds, we need to actually continuously update that. So the wheelie thing is out of the question, because then we would think it froze, because we're very used to fast data today. So we need to have some text or a progress or something like that.
The basic problem for our page is pause for dramatic effect and me trying to find the page.
Mostly that, right?
Yeah. Oh, actually, we're using the okay. So I thought we were using the virtualized component, but we changed that. So right now we're loading all the conferences. That's why there's a lot of conferences loading.
Right.
We were talking about adding a next previous and stuff like that. We don't have that yet.
Yeah, like pagination thingy.
But that also means that if we take a look at the confs here, we could do it like if with an at if confs dot anyway, okay. There we go.
I don't think it's that any.
Could be.
Could be.
Else. Oh, come on.
Oh, you have elves? That's for Christmas coding.
So Visual Studio has a new setting that for some reason, I don't know when, but for some reason they felt that, you know what, that is going to be the default way of adding a
what is going to what? You forgot to say half of it. What's the new setting?
When we were adding a curly brace, I was trying to remember because
moose wings?
It's not a moose wing.
In Swedish, it's moose wings.
It adds them after the else.
Oh.
So it's using the JavaScript syntax.
Okay, got it.
So somewhere in the settings, there is a horrific setting.
Well, you find that horrific, and so do I, but still, if you're used to the other way, that's fine. It just means we're old.
You're very inclusive,
I know.
and it's not fine.
It is.
So let's see.
You know, some people actually like JavaScript.
Unheard of.
And that's okay.
Where are you? I don't remember where that setting is.
Should I look for it? Visual Studio curly.
How do I fix the curly braces?
Settings. Okay, what does it say? Oh no, that's how to keep first color braces.
Advanced.
Here, preferred position. Open tools and options. Expand the text editor, C# code style.
Yeah. Got it. Code style. Got that one.
The specific area you'll want is under formatting new lines.
Formatting new lines.
And there's like disabling place else on a new line. Place open bracket on new line
place
for control
else
blocks.
on new line.
And there's also a place open brace.
So this is... Oh, wait a minute.
No, there's a place open brace on new line for control blocks. There you go.
Open brace.
For control... The above. One above.
Place open brace on new line. Yes. This is what we want.
This is what you want. Just to make it clear.
Readability is not a joke. There we go. Now we can
And
continue.
I did that without using ChatGPT.
But if you did, you would also... No, actually, I don't think you would get the answer.
Make it up. Well, you can ask.
So let's...
Could actually find it. I don't know.
No, I think this is a very new feature. So I think the cutoff date of ChatGPT is 2001.
Oh, okay,
so,
yeah. Then definitely no.
Okay, so basically what I'm doing here is that if I have any conferences, I'm going to show them. If I don't have any conferences, I'm going to show loading, because I think it's kind of safe that we are going to have at least one conference.
Yeah.
Being what we could also do is make sure that the list is nullable, and if it's null, which means we haven't loaded any data, we would show that one.
Yep.
And when it's not null, we can show something else. But I think that is safe to do.
Yes, ChatGPT Plus
Look at that
has
loading.
added so we can have plugins now. That's,
Yes.
oh my gosh, did you remove that color?
Can you see it loading?
Yeah, I can see the loading, but I also
Loading.
can see all the color.
Loading. But give me a color.
Loading after work?
Give me a color. Any color.
But just do something with alpha or something. Or maybe that doesn't work on dark.
I don't know. I have no idea.
So try it.
You're the color expert.
No, I'm not. I can tell you when it's wrong.
Okay, so let's go with... so what are we doing? Are we doing the background color? That would be var minus the which one is that? This one. Oh. Okay, let's go with that.
But you kept the colon. Is that supposed to be there?
It is not.
No. Thought so.
There we go. Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is we should do something. Should we do something with the alpha, or do we want to?
We can put for the dark. We can do a white and use alpha on white, or actually we can use our light color, like the text color that we're using. And for the dark, we can use the text color we're using there. So we get the...
Okay.
And then reduce the alpha to like 5 or 10% or something.
So we're doing an R. Actually, is that going to work?
I don't know.
Because we want to use the other color.
Yeah, but I'm saying reuse the color, so we don't have a multitude of colors, but put the alpha on it. Can we do that? Can we do that on a variable?
RGBA? I don't know. That's the thing.
Ask ChatGPT. And while you're doing that, space between argument attributes or not.
Space between arguments.
Where do you stand? You broke Jimmy.
Definitely spaces, but I'm thinking about that attribute. I would probably have that on a separate line.
There you go.
As well, unless it's
Asking the important questions. Yes, I know, right? Jimmy.exe crashed for sure. Oh, and we got for arguments. I'm adding my own voice to your voice now. I'm interpreting the emojis.
So I think we might need to let's ask ChatGPT. Can I use a color
You can't take an existing color value and apply an alpha channel to it.
Can't. Okay.
But it didn't say anything. Oh, how do I apply opacity? Oh, yeah, well, there's opacity as well. But I was asking about alpha.
Okay.
So what's the correct
I want
answer?
a new color. Let's do that.
Okay. Yeah, see, you can do it. I'm faster than ChatGPT.
No, you're faster than me typing. That's a
Yes,
completely
that's for
different
sure.
thing.
I mean, no. You're an author.
RGBA.
And then the var.
0.8.
Oh, no, we don't want 80%. That should be way less. But sure, let's try it.
Body color.
But that's the same as the body. What we need is to put the... It's the wrong variable you're using.
Is it?
Yes, we want the light theme variable, not the dark theme variable. So basically we want the text color.
But that is the text color.
Oh, okay. Sure. But drag it down even more.
Because the other one is the BG. That's the background color.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Which is...
very clearly named.
It's actually, that should work, I think. Shouldn't it?
Var...
Let's pop this one out.
Do you have the semicolon as well?
Do I have? Yes.
Yes, okay.
Let's pop this one out. Our friendly neighborhood red.
Oosh.
Actually, that would probably not work. I think the problem is that this is actually what it wants is more like this syntax.
It can have whatever syntax it wants.
Yeah, exactly, because the color up there, if you see, it's in a different format.
Yeah, you get it in decimal instead of RGB. Okay.
All right, so I want a new color.
Yeah, sure. So take white then.
White?
Yeah. And then you need to put alpha on it. So it's like 0.1 or 0. Even less.
.0.1.
0.1? Just try it. I don't know. I'm just making things up here. Yeah, maybe we can drag that down even more. 0.03? Is that even a thing? So now we're down to like 3% or something. Yeah.
Are you happy with that?
I don't know. I can be happy. And then we should try this on the light theme as well, doing the black instead. And actually, we should use the same color. That's going to bug me.
Oh, this is nice.
Ooh, beautiful. That's very readable.
Okay, so let's... so the 4-speaker page, I think it works.
Yeah, except the horrendous thing you just showed me. Oh, it still shows the little icon even if it doesn't have a location?
Apparently.
Okay. Like over here? There?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So this one is...
Oh, this is not nice.
Is there no... Okay, so this is a completely different page. So this one we're actually screen scraping, I believe.
You should listen to JavaSoft, Lavasoft here. Just can be happy. Well, that makes it all okay. There you go.
Okay, so let's ignore that for now. Okay, so we got this one. Let's say that this page is what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is the page we're looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at attendees. They look good as well. Great.
Yeah, what we could do with adding some glitter.
Organizers.
Ooh, no.
I'm thinking we might have a problem here.
Yeah. We need to keep this. We cannot change this page for light and dark theme. This component thingy we need to keep as it was.
Wait, what are you saying?
Keep the light theme on just the little component.
On this one?
Yeah. Do you have a better suggestion?
I don't know.
Because that is not pretty. Yeah, exactly. That looks
The problem
bad.
is since we're actually overriding the bootstrap colors.
Yeah.
That's
the problem with Bootstrap.
It's not a
yeah,
bootstrap
I'm going to
problem.
rant again. Bootstrap and I, not friends. Not friends at all. But then we need to fix our freaking CSS so it's actually changing this as well.
Let's do it like this. Let's pop into.
I don't like when we're hard coding colors.
Where is that one? That's like the calendar component, something like that. There it is. Okay, so here we got all of that goodness. That's a table. Let's add a class on that one. Let's add a calendar class.
I'll tell you, Bootstrap and I are not even frenemies. We're just flat out enemies. We do not like each other. It's okay if you like it. I don't mind. But we are done. For sure.
So dot calendar.
Scary? Did I scare you? Yeah, it's not a lot of things I do not like as much as I do not like the Bootstrap. It messes my stuff up. Probably my own fault, but it's still messing things up, so.
So let's go with the calendar, which is the table in this case. Let's go for a background color of white. Can change this later. And TD should have a color of black. There we go. And if we pop back a little bit better. And then we're going to have the TH is going to be a color of black as well. There we go. Okay. I don't hate it.
Yeah, the search we need to fix as well, but other than that, it's fine. Because I think it's better if we keep that as is, because we had so much problem with the colors to make those accessible.
And it's not a lot of white here, really.
Yeah. No, it's not in your face white.
No. So what do we need to do with the text box?
We need to do the same thing here. That's what we did with the background. Put some alpha on it. It should be lighter gray or something. Does that make sense?
I guess so. So let's.
Yeah, exactly. It's fixed enough for now.
So that's the search.
Definitely fixed enough.
So what you're saying is we want to. We might want to add a border, actually.
Yeah. because otherwise it won't look like an input box.
Don't want, no, nah, no, maybe.
Why are we using an arbitrary gray here? Oh, I do not like this. We should have a color palette and stick to it.
Give me a color palette then.
I did, and then you all went... You and Bootstrap, well, went all lovey-dovey. It blew up all over the page.
Background color, red.
Oh, gosh. You're going there, aren't you?
Here we go. So basically you're telling me that you want a... that color.
Yeah. Might actually be that we need a little bit more contrast on an input box. Otherwise, it won't look like an input box. But let's figure that out when we put it there. Maybe we need to go up to 5% or something.
Okay, so let's grab that one then. I was thinking about doing it as a variable, but if we want to change it, we're gonna run into problem. There we go. Okay. The text is still off. We need a...
In the meanwhile, we do have another question. I have a tech career path question. Do you think you can help me? Shoot!
Sure.
We are
And I
a lot
approve of your username.
Yeah, of course you do. We're all friends here in the chat, for sure. Technology has become the antithesis of what originally made me interested in it. Okay. How's that? Yeah, we need more contrast in that input box. Because it needs to be visible for people who depend on.
So what are your... You want it lighter?
Yes, I want it lighter. Try like 5% or 6% or something. No, even more. Sorry about that. Yeah, maybe even... Yeah, that didn't look pretty, did it? What color are we doing here? Is it a black?
White.
Oh, it's a white. Okay. That's why it looks off, because it's a neutral... It's a neutral color, and we're using a yellowish tinted color. So try using the white we are using, the near white we are using for the text. Does that make sense? I can pull it up. I thought I could pull it up. And you want it in RGB, right?
I would prefer to have, I don't think this one.
248. I have the RGB.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I asked you. 248, 250. 250.
250.
230.
230.
Yes. Not that number.
Okay. That looks kind of good, I think.
Because it's the same. And now you can see the menu we have. We need to do something about that as well, because that has a bluish tint and everything else has a yellowish tint.
Yeah.
Or a neutral tint.
And when we change the link color, we also the yellow here disappeared. So we need to fix
and I
that
also
as well.
think we need to change the border on the input box and the text in the input box, because those are also neutral.
So what do you want them to?
I want them to be yellowish tinted as well.
So you want the color. I think it is.
It is? But I think you put in like CCC. Yeah, you see the border.
Okay, the border. Yeah, but this one is the text is
Okay.
the correct one.
Okay. Maybe it was an illusion then.
Okay, so what you're talking about this
Oh
text.
yeah, the preview text. Yes.
Okay, that one I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a border mark thingy. Okay,
But the border
so
should be something else. So it should probably be the same as that one. Yes.
not the same one.
No, but the same color, but
So
lighter.
Lighter. Okay,
Yes.
let's go with that.
What just happened? That is.
Why is
What?
it disappearing? Is the border only visible when you're...
No, it was visible before.
Wait, yeah,
Oh, you haven't. There's no pixels. How wide it should be? No.
That might be the case. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, it's border. It's solid. It's 1px. That's probably it. There we go.
Yeah, this is a little bit better. Could probably be a little bit more contrasty on the border.
More.
Yeah,
You're saying
put
lighter
that as
again.
a 1 or something. Or,
1?
I don't know.
Isn't 1 100%?
Yes, it is. I was having a brain fart. Okay.
That's too much contrast, I think.
Okay, so let's see here. Our friendly Commodore 256. Well, I got into tech because I like the idea that you can understand how everything or anything works with a simple screwdriver. And now everything is so complicated. You need millions of lines of code to make the most mundane of things work. And everything is either a black box or so overcomplicated it might as well be a black box, and technology doesn't respect the user anymore. In the late 20th century, the idea of TV watching was you and Yakov Smirnov joking, involving the USSR. And it continues. And a fancy car didn't have a cellular modem and didn't charge the user a monthly fee to use the resistor coils. That's the user's property. Now, most tech jobs involve either mining data or blowing stuff up. And there's no tech jobs that involve designing hardware that respects the users like the late 20th century tech did. Well, you're not wrong. I agree. There's definitely been a shift, and we're also old. For sure.
I kind of went into tech in the same with the same mindset that if I'm using computers, I know what is going to happen.
Yeah.
It only took me months before I was like, okay, so this memory circuit is broken for some reason, so the computer was doing like insane stuff, and I realized that, well, that I'm not going to be able to figure this one out. I mean, I can figure out that it was a memory circuit, but it wasn't easy back then either, really.
No, but it depends. I mean, if your specialty was, if you went into it then and you're still stuck in that space and that's your specialty, it's hard to just convert that into a role that exists today. If you half-assed went into it and just went along, I think it's easier, but it's definitely difficult. And on a similar note, there's a very high demand for COBOL developers, because apparently the COBOL developers that were there back in the day when COBOL was a thing, they are either dying for real or they are not working anymore because they are elderly. So at the school that Jimmy and I teach at, sometimes they have actually had 3 COBOL classes, which is kind of mind-blowing. So who knows, maybe we will go back to hardware when that... but then again, technology is going so fast. The evolution is... I think there's no going back.
No, nowadays, hardware is software.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Yeah, we are driving a freaking computer.
Yeah.
A humongous cell phone. It is what it is, right? We have AIs driving and yeah. Yeah, COBOL devs are literally timing out for sure. But there's still a lot of legacy, so Fullesnobel has his career safe and all. Ouch. I don't want a spec downgrade. I want a modern spec of the user-respecting paradigm. Yes. Yeah, somehow we kind of lost the users, especially when it comes to hardware. I think you're right. When it comes to software, we have been up and down all the way. Some industries understand that it's all about the user, and some industries, they're still like, we have done this since the 1980s. So it worked for my grandma, it will work for the next generation. But that's not true either. But definitely for hardware, I mean, just take one of my favorite things to hate, elevators. There is no structure to how you design an elevator at all. I have yet to find an elevator that has used some sort of standard. It is ridiculous how that actually works. And I'm sorry if I'm ruining elevators for you. That's one of the things I keep taking pictures of when we're out traveling the world, because I'm not normal. So I have a gazillion images, angry images of elevator faults, because they are not thinking about the user. They are thinking about the technology. It should take you to one level or another.
I don't remember which country it was, or you probably know, perhaps, but usually when it comes to elevators, the level 13 is missing.
Yeah.
But I believe it was China, I'm not sure, but it was an Asian country at least. I believe the number 4 was also an unlucky number.
Yeah, number 13 is a lucky number, rather.
Yes, but that particular elevator was, so it was no 4, no 13, no 14, and so on. So every number with a 4 was not there.
Yeah, Japan, the 4th and 9th floor, says Commodore.
Yep.
256. Yes, it's very interesting. One of the things that I really like is colors, and I teach UX for developers, and we go through colors. And one of the colors that is my absolute favorite is red, because it's so clear that it's actually dividing the world in two. Because in the Western world, it's usually associated with stop or danger or don't go in here or forbidden or something like that. But in Asia, it is the exact opposite. You get envelopes with money in China. I think also in India, the traditional wedding dresses in China is red, and the wedding saris in India was red, and completely different notion of colors. And the same goes for the color, like the death color. It's black here in the Western world, but it's white in Asia, and that can have such an impact. And I really like nerding down in stuff like that.
We got a comment. 4 is she, and she means death, and 9 means QE. I'm butchering the language. I'm sorry. And that means pain. So that's why.
Oh, that is so interesting. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I love stuff like this. Yes.
Other cultures is such an interesting topic.
Yeah. Well, it's once you start to think about the users, you realize all those things. If you're the elevators that was actually thinking about the users, the ones that removed 13 in Las Vegas because it was an unlucky number, they thought about the users. But the ones who just take the buttons and just throw it in and they randomly ended up, you think I'm over exaggerating. I am not. I have the pictures. We should do a special show for stuff like that, UX mishaps, because I have ammunition for that show. I usually do a pre-show with my students, 15, 20 minutes before we start. There's a lot of fun stuff. Yes. Look at that. They thought of the users that they understood exactly, but they did not think about the other users that might actually think 13 was a lucky number or whatever it is. Because usually you just think inside your little box, which is also why you shouldn't do UI testing or UX work on your own stuff. Or at least you should have someone external there to take you outside of the box, because boy have I worked with people who think they know what they want, because they are, I mean, we all biased. We have our little box that we live in, and we very seldom go outside of that, and we don't even understand that there is a world outside of our little box. So when a company says, well, we know what we want this and that, and then someone external like me comes in and say, well, that is very ineffective. Have you thought about doing it this way? That can sometimes be very awesome. And sometimes it can be, well, we live in this little box, so we want our UI to suck. Well, I'm not going to lie.
Okay. So,
yes, you definitely need diverse guinea pigs for UX and UI. For sure. And that goes for age ranges and cultures and disabilities and everything. That's definitely the best testing you can ever get.
Yeah.
You have done stuff.
I have done stuff. So what I did was that on the for organizers page, we have this...
yeah, that looks better now.
Thank you. But we also have one on the search page.
Yeah.
So what I did was I really enjoy isolated CSS because you can style only that component. But it's also very important to realize when you're not styling just that component and you're copying that style and putting it somewhere else. Now you have two components that does the same thing. Yeah. So what I did was I didn't create a new search component because that it's basically just a text box. So I took the CSS and put that into the big CSS. So we have the same CSS for both of the components or the text boxes.
So really, if we were to use isolated CSS, it should be on the calendar view.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I understood you.
But if I search here for Sweden here, for example, and boom, I think this might not look as as we might want it to look.
I agree with that statement for sure.
So the question is, what do we want to do?
What do we want to do? We want to do the reverse of what we're doing on the light theme.
Let's see what's actually happening here.
There are dyslexia-friendly fonts, but they look distracting to non-dyslexic. I guess it's a good option. This is actually very interesting because there's been a lot of studies for dyslexia font. 50% of people with dyslexia find it helpful. 50% actually find an arbitrary, very easy to read sans serif font is better for them. So this is definitely why we need different themings on pages and not do the crazy fonts on our page, for sure. But all the settings we can have so the user can change it. There's also an ADHD friendly font, but that would definitely be distracting for neurotypical brains. So again, that could be a setting as well that we can have in our page. And I mean, you need to evaluate whether that is worth your time to put in all the accommodations. But as long as you're doing most of the accommodations, I think people will still be fine. As long as do as much as you can for when you look at web accessibility guidelines. And if you have the time and effort to put in, or finances, or whatever resources you need, go all the way.
And I agree with the dyslexia font. I love exploring these kinds of things because I think that even people that doesn't have dyslexia might benefit from that font or whatever it may be. I, for example, I love to have screen readers reading documents. So I'm reading them as well as hearing them. That means that I'm going to read faster in my case because I'm a slow reader.
Yeah, you can consume it so much faster. It's ridiculous.
And it also makes...
For you, I mean.
And it also makes me remember it more clearly and for a longer period of time. But I agree with the dyslexia font. That is super hard for me to read.
Could be a good toggle like dark mode. Exactly. I approve of this.
Okay, so we have this.
Yeah.
And
that sucks.
Yes, but I'm thinking just, you know what? Let's turn off the...
okay.
Isn't this better?
It's better than the other thing, but I think it's...
Do we need to have Okay.
Because this will start to be hard to read. When there's a lot of data to consume, we need to have that hierarchy. We could increase the line height, the room between them, or we can do the stripey thingy.
I think we talked about this last time, but let's revisit it. Do we want this page to look like the other pages?
What is this page?
This page is a search page. Do we want the search result to look like that?
But what is the search page? For which page?
Which?
The
search page is for searching.
But all the other search results, that's like the search word we have up there. Is that for all the page?
It's for all the conferences.
So it's regardless if you're a speaker, attendee, and organizer.
Yes, it's regardless of whether or not the conference is in the past, in the future, has open call for paper, and so on.
Yeah.
So, but this, I think you're onto something. You might be leading into that. Maybe we should just remove this search page and put them into the separate pages.
Yeah, so you can get contextual search.
Is that what we want?
I mean, if you think about it, for this page, you are either a speaker or an attendee or an organizer, or at least you are in that mode, because we are all of that. But when I'm going in there searching for a conference to speak at, I'm not going to look at the organizer's view.
Yeah.
So yes, I think it might be good to not have a global search, but to actually have it contextualized. And that would make more sense. Even if I don't like that we're duplicating stuff, I think it would make more sense here. To not. It's a little bit confusing to have the global search when it's not global, or really I don't want it global. I want it contextualized.
But I mean, for in this case, when I'm searching for Sweden, for example, here, I'm getting, let's see here, I'm getting from 2018 conferences. And it kind of makes sense to... I mean, what we could do is that we could add like with open call for paper, with conferences
For the
in
global
the
search,
future.
you mean?
Yeah, and stuff like that. But I think it might...
No, I think that would be cluttered.
Yes, but that would be the alternative, I think.
Yeah, no.
Yes, it would.
No. No, I think it's... it makes sense to have the search in the context you want to search.
Okay, so...
Because otherwise it will become very cluttered, because we need to think about the organizers and the attendees and the speakers at the same time.
And when doing a context search, I think we have two options. One is... Let me see if I can use my trusty pen here. Apparently not. Hello, pen. No. Either we can add a contextualized search up here. So depending on what page we're in.
Yeah, but that could also indicate that this is a global search. Even though I like that we're reusing the space there, how do we know it's contextualized?
Yeah, all right. I agree.
Yeah.
I was just
I'm not saying
testing
that one,
the theory here.
Yeah, I'm not saying that one is more right than the other. I'm just thinking...
Okay, so what we want to do, we want to add the text, the search here, right?
Yeah.
So let's do that quickly just to see what's going on here. I don't think we can actually push the code today. I think we're not ready for that. So let's pop that one here, put that one there, and what broke? I broke something.
Yay, something broke.
Okay,
Oh, we
so
get red serpentines.
We have some search thingies. Let's remove those for now. And build. All right, so something like this instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's good.
Yeah. The color on the menu is bugging me so much.
But please, do you have another color?
Yeah, not a blue tinted one. Maybe the same as the one we have as a background on the cards.
This one?
Yeah, does that make sense? Or is it not contrasty enough?
I don't know.
For a menu. Something broke, but it wasn't Jimmy's car. Jimmy doesn't have a car. Well, he does now because the car is dirty, and then it's ours. When it's clean, it's mine. When it's acting up, it's ours. Otherwise, it's mine. I wonder what people who don't know us will think about that statement. Yeah, but it actually is super dirty right now because I've hurt my shoulder, so I can't wash it. Which bugs me every time I go and sit in the car.
There we go.
It will get cleaned on the 29th, though.
Like that?
Yes, that is better. But now we have two different colors. 2 in the menu. My events is a different color than the others.
My events. Yeah. My event. No, that one. Okay, yeah, that's. I can fix that. I can log out. There we go. Fixed it.
But the car is so nice. I know. I pay 500 kroner to have someone else clean. 500 where? Oh, you're not in Stockholm, right? Got it.
You can drive back there, but the problem is when you're going back home, you're gonna be dirty again.
Yeah, it will be dirty again. Yeah, exactly. Just drive it in the rain. It's summer, so it should be more rain. Yeah, well, I did. it does take all the pollen off, so it doesn't have that green tint, green yellowish tint. But it's still dirty. For me, it's dirty. But we do have a ceramic coating, so it still shines. So it looks clean, but I know it's not. I know. Drive it here, have it cleaned, put it on a covered trailer, and ship it back to Stockholm. Yeah, that might be something we can do. I actually love driving around your area. It's the most beautiful place to drive in Sweden, for sure. For sure. And also, it's the most beautiful charging station in Sweden that I've seen so far.
All right, so I added the search bar up here.
Yeah.
It's not connected to anything right now.
And this color did not change, the background color. It's back.
The back, yeah, I did it just in the DevTools.
Okay, got it.
But let's do that. Let's see what we got here.
Or, hear me out here, move from Stockholm to somewhere where they can clean the car cheaper, like Jönköping.
So the menu color.
I mean, you are 50% Danish, Jess. You're not wrong. The other day, we got into the car, and usually when Jimmy isn't in the car, I kind of crank up the music, and I have a very eclectic collection of music, taste in music, I should say. And on full volume, it was Rasmus Seebach, who is a Dane singing in Danish. And yeah, so you're not wrong. Might have shocked Jimmy a little bit. Oh, and just so you know, Jimmy, they do have public transport. So you're messing with colors, and I can't even get Bootstrap Grid to cooperate right now. Well, it's because it's Bootstrap. I mean, if you want to use Bootstrap, you can do that. I don't like it.
We kinda noticed.
I was going to say Aqua. I think they're Danes too. They are. It was not Aqua, but...
Could have been.
Could have been. Okay, well, yeah,
so...
it was kind of poppy thingy. Did I scare you? That changing tune. Whoa. That's basically what Jimmy said when he got to hear the Danish song. Oh my gosh, I can imagine Jess blasting I'm a Barbie girl on full volume in the sound system. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past me. I listen to a very wide variety of music. And so does my mom. So Jimmy usually, when we are driving from or to my mom, since she's in the car, Jimmy's usually wearing headphones because we are popping
insane.
out.
That's the word you're looking for.
But it's fun. I mean, you can't be angry when you hear Barbie Girl, for instance. And also there's new versions of every song we had growing up now. That's how old we are. I'm like, wait a minute, this lyric isn't completely correct, is it?
I know this lyric.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
Batwar bar.
Batwar? Ooh, that's a black color. Dark theme.
Ground. Color.
speaking of blasting music, holy crap, the Polestar is good at catching Hello Google, even when you're playing on a brain damage inducing volume. Yes, I know, right? It's insane. But sometimes I automatically use the button. But yes, you can basically whisper while you're blasting, I don't know, Barbie Girl, Disturbed, whatever. It goes through. Like, I can't hear myself saying it. It still goes, Bing, what you want, peasant? What have you done to your car if it calls you peasant? Our car is almost 2 years old, so it's going in for its first checkup. Oh, it's because you gave it to the cleaners. Well, I have done that too. I mean, we have a really... I'm very picky with the ones who can recon the car, but there's a few.
And that is why I'm not cleaning the car.
Oh, he is not allowed. Not allowed.
Okay, I'm thinking we're
there might be
closing
scratches.
into something here. Let's remove this search from the menu.
No, let's talk more about cleaning cars, because I really want to clean my car. See, it's my car again. Because now we're in a positive note here with the music. What do you think about the battery increase in the Polestar 2 2024? Well, we're in the Polestar 2022. And we are still satisfied. So, yeah. And also, what do you think about the horrible new front that they have stolen from Volvo on the Polestar 2 2024? Yeah, that one is dividing the Polestar people into, for sure.
I haven't even seen that one.
Oh, the one that they removed all the black dots and just... Yeah, it looks like every other car now. Like, kind of like the... oh my gosh. The red one we looked at. That I promised my mom to try.
With a horse?
With a horse. The Mustang. The Mustang.
Oh, it looks like a Volvo. Yeah, I don't like that.
I'm basically a trained car cleaner. I just will never work as it. I found computers and internet more fun in the 90s. Well, I could actually see myself. But not cleaning cars, like reconditioning them, for sure. The pixel is the whole character of the car. Yes, for sure. How do you find the different colors? I know you have the Thunder like we do. But some of the cars, like the black one and I think the midnight one, they have like a grin with a silver smile in the front. I do not like that. It looks funny to me. So welcome to the Polestar show. That's what you get when you have two enthusiasts in the same chat room. Yeah, I don't like the chrome. Yeah. I agree. Actually, I did contemplate de-chrome, but I guess de-rubber? The little black details on the bottom as well. But it was a little bit expensive. Could not see that. What if I wanted a red one? Well, just wrap it. Yeah, there's 0 character colors, but they are, I do like the themes. Like, it is basically the Swedish weather sky theme. The thunder, all of a sudden I do not despise when it's rainy, gray, and about to thunder, because it's the exact
because
same color.
Of the car.
Yeah, it's exact the same color. And the midnight, it is very dark blue, which is how it looks in the summer. So I kind of like that. Last car was wrapped. Nice. How did you like it? Black car, whitish. Yeah. We went back and forth between wrapping the car and putting a ceramic coat on it. So we went with the ceramic coating, but might have went overboard. There's like a 8 or 10 year warranty on it, and yeah, very nice. White pearl. Ooh, that sounds great. Maybe we should have one in glittery color. I like glitter.
Okay, I think we might have broken some things.
Yeah, I don't think this works. Yes! Oh my gosh, we're ranting now. We are ranting. How the heck did this pass design gates? The freaking stickers on the door. Yes! That's the first thing we did when I went to the ceramic coating persons, the Recon company. I was like, can we do? And he I didn't even have to say the whole sentence. He went around the car. Like, do you want that removed? Yes, please. Oh, you can't take it off because of the freaking leasing? Oh my gosh. And it isn't even a beautiful sticker. It's horrendous. And it's cut like wonky.
And the really odd thing is that if you're ordering the power pack or whatever it's called, you get another sticker.
Yeah.
Because it's faster now.
Don't do the stickers. Like, whatever sticker would be better than that sticker. Horrender.
Okay, so we got into a kind of a problem with the since we're using white with alpha.
Yeah.
So we kind of
because
need
we're supposed to use black with alpha here.
Okay.
That's the whole point. We were going to use the light color with alpha on the dark theme and vice versa. So we need to do a query on. You can do the media query on prefer dark.
Yes, but we are also on time.
Okay, you're getting hungry.
I am hungry.
Are you tired of my ranting about
Yes.
the car?
I'm thinking we're gonna wrap it up. No pun intended. With a car.
Oh,
references,
nice
but
one!
Thank you.
Nice one.
And simply continue on the next. Next one.
We need to sort that.
But
stuff.
I think we're on track. We're getting a contextualized search.
Yep.
We're getting.
We need more contrast on. We obviously need to fix the light theme.
Yeah, and the top menu. I would argue I want one color for that one.
Yes.
I don't want it to have a black or white and
maybe we can go with the yellow one.
Perhaps. I like yellow.
Yeah, I know. Maybe we can reuse that.
Yeah. But I think it makes sense to have one color and then switch out the background for the other stuff.
Is there a reason you're checking any before for reaching the collection?
You mean here? Just so that I can show a loading screen.
And the most important question of the day, how many things did you break this time, Jimmy? All of them. That's why we're not...
I think I'm not going to push this. And the search is not done either. We need to update the API to have search in there as well. So there's a lot of things we need to fix.
Yeah. But we do have a plan. Fix the light theme, put in a media query.
Yeah.
Because we need a little bit more contrast here.
All right. So I believe you have the last thing to do.
Yes. But now I'm in a different window than I'm used to. Oh, it's because I was in a completely different... No, I'm still in a different... Where do I do that from here? I don't even know. Because I need to go into the other mode, right?
I have no idea.
No, me neither.
This is why you do it.
No, this is why we are not letting me do this. Because I think we need to go into the creator thingy. Let's go into the... What's it called? Oh my gosh. The dashboard? Yes! Look at that.
I think I saw Jeff still
Jeff
streaming.
is still on! So let's raid Jeff.
Until the next time.
Oh, is he a cow?
It looks like that.
Nice.
So
See you next
until the
week.
next time.
Bye.
Bye.